All right. We're back with another prediction video. So today we are predicting the Indianapolis Colts record for the 2020 season. Last time we predicted the Houston Texans, and we're done the AFC West, and we finished the entire NFC. Make sure you go check those out. They're on a playlist. So make sure you check those out because here comes a spoiler. All right. Last time we predicted the Texans to be 7-9, and continuing with that division. The Colts have to beat 7-9 to be the first seed so far in my predictions. So keep up the support, and let's get right into things. Before we predict their schedule, let's talk about what the Colts did to improve or get worse. So one of the Colts' best moves in the entire offseason, they signed DeForest Buckner. It was a trade. They traded up the 13th overall pick in the draft, which giving up the number 13 pick is not easy. But to get a player like DeForest Buckner, immediate impact, it makes it a near no-brainer. I definitely think that the 49ers lost out on this one because the 49ers drafted a defensive lineman. I mean, even though DeForest Buckner's already established in the league, which was kind of questionable in my opinion. His impact is going to be immediate from the 3 technique, and his production should bring the defense to a different level than last year. Obviously, they upgraded the quarterback position. It was necessary for the Colts. Rivers' best days might be behind him, but I do think that he was definitely overshadowed in 2019 because of poor offensive line play by the Chargers. So now that he has a good offensive line in the Indianapolis Colts, he's definitely going to be, looking to escalate his game back where it was in 2018. 2018, he had a career year. The Colts have one of the best offensive lines in the league. We got Quentin Nelson, Braden Smith, Jack Doyle. Definitely a good, going to be a good fit for Phillip Rivers in my opinion. So it looks like the Colts drafted Michael Pittman Jr. to be their number 2 wide receiver, which honestly is a pretty good move. I think they have a strong receiver core. So obviously they have T.Y. Hilton. He was injured in 2019. He's going to be a lot better once he's fully healthy. I think he's going to be a good number 1 receiver. We all know what he's capable of, especially with Phillip Rivers as a quarterback. Then their number 2/3, they're both young guys. Parish Campbell, he was kind of a letdown, honestly, because he had a lot of hype going into his rookie year. But I do think that he'll develop. He'll get stronger. He'll get better. Definitely a solid receiver, especially because he's number 3 receiver on the depth chart. And then Pittman Jr., we'll have to see what he develops into. He could be a good playmaker, though, coming out of USC. And then the Colts also made some other moves in the offseason. Obviously, Jonathan Williams. So they didn't need to add him to the offense, but they did so anyway. He's going to make an immediate impact while being one of the reasons the offense is more explosive in 2020. Now, they added one of my favorite players in the league. They added tight end Trey Burton. The Colts needed to add a tight end to the roster after they lost Eric Ebron in free agency. I definitely think Eric Ebron was underappreciated, so that is a kind of a direct blow. But Burton disappointed with the Bears, but he finds himself back in a scheme that he'll be successful with. Obviously, he won the Super Bowl when Frank Reich was a part of the same team he was on. His role won't be constant, but Burton should have a big impact in the tight end room as long as he's healthy. They added Xavier Rhodes. Rhodes is going to step in as one of the boundary corners opposite Rock Ya-Sin. The Colts are hoping his 2019 season was down with the Vikings because of injuries more than anything else. Even with his struggles, Rhodes is going to find success working in the zone-heavy scheme as long as he improves his plays on the ball. And they added some Randys, but those aren't really notable players. I do think that those people that I just named, though, those definitely are going to help the Colts improve a lot in 2020. So I think the Colts are looking to improve. I forget last year. I know they didn't win the division. Let me look up what their record was. I know the Texans won the division. They were like 10-6. I know it was a close division. Usually is. So the AFC South last year, Colts came in 3rd. They were 7-9. I would kind of blame that due to injuries. Obviously, Andrew Luck kind of bombed them. But let's get right into things. They're looking to win the division this year, and let's start predicting their schedule. Week 1, they start off against the Jacksonville Jaguars right off the bat, divisional matchup. The Jaguars is the next prediction video. Jaguars are going to be the worst team in the NFL. I don't think they're going to be trying to win. They proved that when they traded Super Bowl MVP Nick Foles for a bag of socks. It's not going to be a good franchise down there in Jacksonville for a long time. Colts going to get the Week 1 win against the Jaguars, and Colts start off 1-0. Week 2, they play the Minnesota Vikings. This game is in Indianapolis, and I could see it being a close game. I think it is going to be a close game, actually. But I think that Xavier Rhodes not going to get his revenge that he wants. I think the Vikings take this matchup. I like Dalvin Cook in this game. I think Dalvin Cook's going to be a big threat. I think he's going to have another good year for Minnesota. I think Justin Jefferson is a good matchup against the Colts defense and their cornerback number 2. I think the Vikings get the win here. Colts 1-1. Next up, the Colts play the New York Jets, so another bad team. I think the Jets are going to be definitely better than the Jaguars. I think Sam Darnold can be a really good quarterback if he develops, but besides that, Jamal Adams might be gone by week 3. Le'Veon Bell doesn't want to be there either. Let's be real. Does anyone want to be on the New York Jets? Who knows? Colts get the win, 2-1. Week 3, they play the Chicago Bears. Nick Foles down in Chicago. So when I predicted this was a while ago. Let me rephrase that. This is the summer of 2020, so if you're watching this and Nick Foles is starting or, some news breaks, the way I predicted all these games, it was as if Mitchell Trubisky is going to be starting week 1, and I have Foles being replaced, Foles coming in to replace Trubisky in week 6. So I think Trubisky's in at this point, and I think the Colts get the win against the Bears for that reason. Colts 3-1. Next up, the Colts play the Cleveland Browns, another away game. Browns aren't, I think they're going to be a pretty bad team again this year. I think this is going to be a disappointing season for the Cleveland Browns. They're kind of looking to get better. I think OBJ might want out after this year, and I think the Colts get the win right here, 4-1. Next up, another AFC North matchup, the Cincinnati Bengals. Colts, better team on offense and on defense. The Bengals do have potential. They're definitely trending in the right direction offensively. Bengals defense atrocious. Phillip Rivers eats big in this game, and Colts are 5-1. Next up, Detroit Lions. This game is in Detroit. So if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I'm a big believer in the Lions in 2020. I think they're going to be the 2020 Tennessee Titans, where they're the Cinderella story, and I think they have a good chance of being a good team. They improved drastically on offense, and on defense they got Jeff Okudah and Desmond Trufant. Darius Slay, the loss of him is definitely going to hurt, but they did a lot to improve that defense as well. Definitely going to be a good season for the Lions, in my opinion. Matt Patricia is kind of a question mark, but their offensive defense is solid. Lions get the win here. Colts 5-2. Next up, Colts play the Ravens. So the Colts are definitely heading in the right direction this season, and they're going to be a good team, but the Ravens are established offensively and defensively. Both sides of the ball, they're elite. I think the Ravens get the win here. This could be an upset. It's in Indianapolis, but I just don't see enough reason to get the Colts the win here, especially when, middle of the season. Colts 5-3. Next up, they play the Tennessee Titans. This game's in Tennessee, and I think that the Titans are going to split with the Colts this year. So just mark that up as 1-1. I think they get the win though in Tennessee, coming off of 2 straight losses. I think they'll go to Tennessee and get the win right here. So I think the Colts are 6-3. Next up, they play the Green Bay Packers. Definitely going to be a close game. I think these offenses are comparable. I think the Colts have the edge in terms of wide receiver core because obviously T.Y. Hilton versus Devontae Adams, that's a toss-up. Devontae Adams is probably better. But I think the Colts number 2 and number 3 guys definitely a lot stronger than the Packers. And the Colts offensive line is definitely a lot better. I think this is going to be an offensive game right here. I think the Colts get the win. So for those of you that think the Colts might not beat the Packers, whatever, I gave them the loss to the Ravens. I think they could win that game. So here comes the win right here. I think the Colts beat the Packers, and now they are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5. They're 7-3 at this point. Like I said, they split with the Tennessee Titans. The next game is at the Tennessee. It's a home game against the Titans, but I do think that they're going to split, so I'm giving them the loss here. It doesn't matter if they lose it away or at home. I just think they're going to split, so I just put it on the schedule. So it looks like they're 7-4 now. 7-4, looking to finish off the season strong, win the division. They do play the Houston Texans. This game is in Houston. Obviously, it's the first time they're seeing them. So this is late in the season. It's in Houston. I think this is going to be an upset. I think late in the season, the Houston Texans might not be rolling. Like I said, I predicted them 7-9 in 2020. But I do think the Texans get the win right here. I think they'll split with the Colts. I think that the first matchup in Houston, the Texans will win. J.J. Watt, come on. J.J. Watt was injured in 2019. Let's not forget J.J. Watt's on the Texans, all right? So Colts 7-5. Next up, they play the Raiders. This game is in Las Vegas, but I don't care. I think the Raiders aren't going to be great this year at all. I think they're definitely getting a little overhyped. I don't think they're I know they got Jonathan Abram on defense and everything. He's honestly their best player on defense, and he was injured his rookie year. So, come on now. Colts get the win here, 8-5. Next up, they play the Texans again. Like I said, they're split with the Texans. I think the Colts are a better team. I don't think they should split, but I think they will. So Colts get the win here, 9-5. Next up, Pittsburgh Steelers. This game's in Pittsburgh. Steelers offense, definitely a huge question mark. Personally, I think Ben Roethlisberger's kind of washed up. It's kind of hard to bounce back from an elbow injury, especially your throwing hand, you're a quarterback. Like, come on. Plus, besides Juju, I don't really think that James Washington and Deontay Johnson are the best guys. I mean, watching them play with Mason Rudolph, and Duck Hodges definitely, drew some red flags, but was it the quarterback's fault? Was it the wide receiver's fault? It's a toss-up. Steelers defense, elite, though. Steelers defense will be number 1 in the league. Definitely going to Phillip Rivers some problems right here. I think the Steelers get the win because of their defense. Colts, 9-6. 9-6, 7-seed format in the playoffs. They need to get this win right here. Oh, look at that. The last game of the season, they played the Jacksonville Jaguars in Indianapolis. You already know how I'm going to predict this game. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Come on now. Colts are going to finish the season off 10 wins, 6 losses. So 7-seed playoff format, 10-6, definitely a good record for the Colts. Is it enough for them to win the division, though? Going to want to stay tuned. Next up is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars predictions, which, yeah. And then after that, the Tennessee Titans. So it's going to be you're going to want to see which team wins the division between the Colts and the Titans. It's going to be close, matter of one game. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Thanks for watching.